That's right. It's at dinner time. My wife hasn't brought me no dinner yet. She's not here yet. She's shopping. She's boycotting the podcasts. Well. We have 3 people on. Let's wait a moment of silence for my good friend Les. He's muted tonight. He's only going to be unmuted when I allow it. Oh gosh, I'm kidding. Anyway,
there's probably a whole lot of people out there that wishing you could mute me, but that ain't
no. There's nobody wants to mute you. I don't know what you're talking about.
So Chris, if I flip you off, does that count as cursing? I'm asking for a friend.
You know what? I think it's actually all right to do inside YouTube, realm. I don't think maybe they could see what you're doing. I don't at a live thing. But anyway, folks, welcome to the podcast. Please like, subscribe, and share the podcast. Great friends tonight. The panel. Max is on the left or right side. Les is on the right or left side, and I'm in the middle. We can switch it up. I can move it around anytime we want to. That's a good thing. But last time, everybody had trouble pointing that way. Or was it? Yeah, something like that. We had, Max didn't get to ride, because he wouldn't get on the back of the motorcycle. But Les did
and
do
not
some
going
riding.
to.
And about wore him out. I wore him out yesterday. He went home and fell asleep and never woke back up until this morning. But Max, man, I'll tell you what, the back of the bike, it's there. It's there.
And my right foot is real comfortable too. So,
and then IMRG had their first ride. It was actually their second scheduled one, but their first ride of the year. And we went to the Serpent Mounds, somewhere close to Hillsboro. I think it was right outside of Hillsboro. I didn't realize
it's the Great Serpent Mound. Yes.
Yeah. We didn't actually walk on it. We just drove by it.
Oh, shit.
Or we
they
rode
wouldn't
by
stop for you to go look at it?
They paid me off, and they just didn't pay me enough. But anyway, we were going up there, and we stopped at a gas station, like we always do. Get gas. Everybody's going in. I'm outside doing something. Josh is outside doing something, and Tim was outside doing something. So when we come in, we didn't even get a vote. The women chose to, because it was kind of chilly, and the women chose to ride past and go straight to lunch, in which I have to admit it was a good decision, because we were going to go to the Ponderosa because it's one of the last Ponderosas in, I guess, America. And it was crowded. When we were right in front of it, it was packed for that time of day. But we went to the Porch. I don't know if you ever heard of the Porch, but it was actually very good. It was one of the best hamburgers I've had in a long time, and that kind of restaurant kind of thing. And that's what's cool about riding with a bunch of people in a group. You get to go to these restaurants that you never went to before, and sometimes they're bad. We've actually got kicked out in that little Nashville, right? We had too many people. It's like, no, I can't do that. Sorry, get out of here.
Yeah.
But sometimes we go in there and we put stress on the kitchen, and it works out pretty good. All right, so
you had a small group though.
Yeah.
It wasn't like there were 20 people. There were, 10, 8, something like that?
Yeah, it was about 9, 10, yeah. I think so. Wives in the back. Two of them had, only one had wives, yeah. It was only Tim had his wife on the back. The rest of them were riding on the motorcycle. You had Jennifer. Yeah, she was riding her Scout. Josh was riding his Challenger. There was another guy there. I can't remember who it was. Tim was there. I was there. Melissa was there. Tom was there. Yeah, so it was fun. It was really a fun ride. There was one part of the ride that I went. There was a town south of, and I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but every single property in that town was for sale. Wow. Every single property. I don't know what it was for. I mean, there was like 56 acres on one side, 9 acres on the other side, and a whole house in a town, and it was weird. It was just like everything was for sale. I wish I would have. I wanted to pinpoint. Caboose is going too fast, but I wanted to pin it and see, what was exactly going on there. Maybe there was some kind of company that was coming in, and people just wanted to sell and that kind of stuff. But anyway, that was the gist of that. So that was
But that's your idea. That was your idea for a biker town where we could all move to, right?
Yeah, I'm going to build a whole
Yeah, we could all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be Throttle and Iron, Ohio. The zip code is 00000 right now, but we will get that as soon as we get it populated. I think that would be actually pretty cool if somebody had the money to go ahead and just create a town just for bikers. Yeah. So, what's that, Les?
Chris, I think you're okay, but I'm not sure I'd be your neighbor or not.
Really?
Me either.
Hey, I only cut the. Oh, I'm sorry. I mow the yard. I can't even talk. Hold on, let me get some water here. I mow the lawn
Woo!
at least 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I mean it's not bad. It's not bad. So.
1 o'clock in the morning, and you're out there cutting grass because you're out riding during the day.
Yeah.
Is that right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah. That's the only time I got. I have like
you
3 or
better
4
go find your own
spotlights.
little township.
I have 4 spotlights on my motorcycle, not motorcycle, my lawnmower, and I turn them on and I cut the grass. It works pretty good. But the neighbors are always like yelling at me. I don't know why.
Jeez.
I got my trigger
You're
on
lucky
less.
they're lucky they ain't shot you out there in Indiana land.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. So we got some talking tonight. So you had a video you sent me, and it was about seniors and them buying motorcycles. Correct?
Why seniors don't like Harley-Davidsons.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I think Indian's getting pretty close to being that too, right?
I guess. So you could apply those same arguments to Indian.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I was watching one of my YouTubers, and it seems like a lot of, I don't know, maybe there is something to this Harley-Davidson thing, because like you said earlier, when Les was on here, we was talking about some of the big YouTubers. They're kind of switching off some motorcycles. I know, what is it, Riding and Fit or something like that, or Fit and Riding? I can't remember what his name is. I don't know if you've ever watched him. Fit Nation or something like that. I think I have to look him up.
You got me. I don't.
He got a new Honda Goldwing.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess Connie's somewhere here.
Yeah, she's on here. But yeah, that seems to be a trend with some of the ones I've seen, like Marvel Kid 87. He just got himself a BMW. I don't want to misquote the model, but it's a crotch rocket type bike.
Mm-hmm.
Cycle Fanatics, he's got a Pan Am CVO that he's tricking out. And, they're all just branching out in different areas and different ways of doing things. And that's cool for content, but are you alienating what people actually tuned in to watch you for? I can't answer that question.
Mm-hmm. So, if you look at that video you're talking about, is touring? I guess because we're seniors bikers, they kind of like to do that touring. They like to go that long distance ride. Is these bikes out of their range now? I mean, because it's not. If you look at like you got the Pursuit, right? It's got all the bells and whistles, but look how much the Pursuit costs. If you wanted a Challenger and you wanted to become a Pursuit, you got to pay $3,000 for a trunk, and that's not even the holder for the trunk.
$1,000 for the lowers.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Yeah, so the prices. I mean, it's Harley and Indian. and it looks like the Gold Wings have stabilized, and they're not raising the prices up, but their bikes haven't really changed for like 10 years either. And that's where that cost comes down when you do all this engineering and you're designing when the bike comes out. That's when the price is going to cost the most, because basically you got to pay for all that stuff.
Yeah, I think the last redesign of the Gold Wing was, I want to say 3 to 4 years ago, when they slimmed it down. Personally, I thought they did a disservice to it, because that's the whole thing about a Gold Wing, is you're supposed to be able to go cross country on one and be comfortable as heck. And but the thing is, what they were saying on this video is the same thing we were saying 2 weeks ago when we were talking about it. It's like they're too heavy, they're too antiquated. People want more technology. They've got the technology, but the seniors maybe don't want the technology. I mean, there was a good 6-minute video, and it all made sense. I don't know. I'm creeping up there in that senior range, but I'm hoping that when I'm able to get another bike come sometime after Lisa and I talk about it in November, we come to the conclusion that if she's not going to ride anymore, there's no more Roadmasters in my future. And that's fine. I never needed a top box anyway. So maybe I'm looking at a used Chieftain or Challenger or something. But that's after I talk to her. Let me make that perfectly clear. After November, when Lisa and I have a serious discussion. There are no bike talks ongoing right now. None. Absolutely zero. So when you watch this, honey.
And you make a good point. Exactly. It's the heavy bikes. Because I just started riding for this season just a couple of weeks ago, and I noticed how heavy that bike is. It's like I'm just now 53, and the bike, wow, this is like, you're just not used to it because you haven't rode it for like 3 months. And then when you start, but once you get, going, the bike, when you're going, it doesn't feel like it's heavy at all. But when you start out, like you're getting ready to pull out of your driveway, and you're stopping, and you're at a stop sign and something like that. That weight if you don't get your footing right, that bike feels a little heavy, And then when you take off, the weight's gone and you're flying. But I can see, these bikes, they got to figure out how, and what they're looking at, if you just see what the Challenger is, the Challenger is going to a bigger engine, right? But the horsepower and the torque is just a little bit more. But the bike didn't trim. It didn't slim down at all. And
no, it did not.
Harley did strip theirs down a little bit. But I think, I don't know how much because that bike is kind of small. Because to me, the new Harley Road Glide is smaller than the Challenger when I test rode it. It's a smaller bike. I'm more cramped from the,
the wheelbase is smaller.
Yeah, the wheelbase.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
With the new 24, 25 Road Glides, CVOs, STs, whatever you want to do, they lighten those frames. So now the weight where the Challenger had the advantage, now I would say probably the Road Glide has the advantage. And same thing for the Chieftain and the Street Line. But I'm not sure. Still, either way, for both brands, even if you're dealing with a Chieftain Street Line, you're still talking anywhere of a dry weight from 150 to 850 to 870, and then a wet weight of over 1,000 pounds. So, and that's the small bike. Now, when you talk about Ultras and Pursuits and Roadmasters and all that stuff, you're close. You're at 975 dry, and you're over 1,000 wet. So, not everybody wants to try and hold that up anymore.
And then when you got the touring, you put the touring pack on there.
Yeah,
because you're talking about 60 pounds without no luggage. I mean, it's like 60 pounds. The trunk, the what do you call the thing that holds the trunk, the frame, whatever it is,
Yeah.
attachments and stuff like that. You're talking about $60 more. I know a friend that actually bought a trunk. Looks like Les is back. I'm going to make sure he's. You're good to go, Les. He's putting his headphones on. Yeah, but yeah, it's. I just think they're gonna figure out how to make these bikes. I mean, I like the size of them, but I don't know what they can do. They have to make the fairings smaller, skinnier. They had to, the suspension. I mean, it's hard to say what they could do unless make the whole motorcycle out of aluminum. The
Carbon
frames,
fiber.
the carbon fiber, yeah.
Carbon fiber, just like the RR. Almost that whole body is carbon fiber.
Yeah.
And the use of aluminum and carving out the swing arm and all the rigmarole that went along with that. I don't know, because Les has a Roadmaster too, and I think correct me, Les, if I'm wrong. Isn't the weight on that 30 empty? Because I remember I thought it was 30. Because Chris said it's 60. I don't know. I don't remember.
The weight on the
30.
The trunk and everything.
The tour pack, the trunk.
Oh, well, the tour pack is like 72 pounds empty.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like 72 pounds. It's heavy. I hate taking it off and on.
Yeah, they say never try and do it alone because it's a weight. So
yeah. It's a pain.
So I mean, I think that's where we're gonna have to figure out, because the motorcycle, the people that we're our age are retiring. When they get to 60, they're going to 3-wheelers if they do anything. It's and that's a Harley 3-wheeler. I know Indian's got some manufacturers making theirs, or a Spider or something like that. But I just see that I understand why these YouTubers are trying, because I think they've maxed their audience. I think they've maxed them. I mean, whoever's watching the touring and that kind of stuff, they can only get to 95,000 or to get to 150,000 subscribers, like Adam and something like that. That's where they're branching out to do some other things, because there's not really, if you would see their audience still going up, then you would see people interested in this stuff. But there's a lot of people I see they're stagnant. They're not really getting more audience. Like we're stagnant. We're a little bit stagnant, but we're growing. But we're just we have our weeks where we don't get no subscribers, and sometimes we get we get like 10 or 15 a week. But we like to talk about everything motorcycle. We don't just like to talk about baggers and stuff like that. But we were basically Indian and we are Harley. We're not going to bash any of them. We're just telling you the facts, how we feel about the riding or the bikes right now is it's stagnant. I mean, there's no really change, and I think they got to make some big changes. I think they need to figure out how to lighten the bikes. They need to figure out how to make them more center balanced. I think Indian's pretty close. I think Harley pretty much copied them in the center balance of gravity there. But and then because people want to, I think maybe I'm wrong, but the younger generations in the the cross rockets and stuff like that. Do you see them, Max or Les? Do you see them transferring when they get a little bit older to a bike what we're riding right now, or you think that everything has an end?
I think there's probably some stuff in between. There's probably some sport touring models, things like that they'll get on. I don't think you're going to go right from a BMW 1000 RR to a Roadmaster. That's a 180-degree turn. But there's probably some bikes in the middle somewhere that kind of fit the bill, give you that need for speed, fills that little itch, and gives you some touring capabilities too.
Yeah.
Well, what I think is I take my own voyage as an example, because as I said, I've been riding for 35 plus years, but most of that time was spent on metric bikes. Yeah. So again, I went from a Suzuki Intruder 750 to the 850 to the 1200. And then I moved over to Kawasaki with the Nomads. And the two Nomads I had, the last one I kept for 12 years before I came to Indian. Now, I'll tell you the one thing that I like, especially those people that are coming out metrics, there's a lot more steps to be taken in a metric company than there is in either Harley or Indian. I mean, if you go to Honda, you can jump to Kawasaki, or you can jump to Yamaha, or you can do this, or you can do that. The one bike that doesn't get mentioned a whole lot as a good medium bike in between the super quality tours of Harley and Indian and BMW is the Kawasaki Vaquero. My buddy Wes had one before he got his Indian, and I really admire that bike. It took the best features of the Nomad, but it wasn't quite as bulky. It slimmed down a little. It had more of a sleek thing, and it had a fixed fairing. So for its time, and God knows they haven't changed it in about 15 years, but it's still a good seller for them because people still keep buying it.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm looking up some stuff right now. So this is the age group. What we're looking at, motorcycle smallest group, many young riders focus on sports bikes and urban commuting bikes. So that's about 8%. That's 16 years old to 24 years old. 25 to 34 is 18 to 20% of growing entrants, especially in adventure and naked bikes and sports bikes. And then
naked bikes?
Yeah, I guess that's with nothing on it. Yeah, no, it's nothing on there, man. Nothing. And then the next age group is like 22 to 24%. And this is 35 to 44. So this is like the midlife crisis kind of person. It's the stable group, trends to buy cruisers, sports touring bikes, and adventure bikes. So you can see adventure bikes has been in two of the categories right now. And then 45 to 54, that's my age. One of the largest groups often rides touring, baggings, and larger cruisers. And that's 23 to 25%. Then you go 55 and 64, and this is less than Max's age room here. Still strong. There's 20%, 20 to 22% of the riders.
You tell them, Les.
Many long-term riders love touring bikes, cruisers, and trikes. See, where's the trike start going in. And then 65 plus is only 8% to 10% of it, increasing due to age boomers. Many switch to trikes or lighter bikes for comfort. So
right.
Well, for me, being on a touring bike, I've been on every other bike you can probably think of. I had a leader sport bike when I was 50 along with my street light, So, I've had about every kind of bike, but, instead of looking cool, I want comfort and convenience. I want the technology. I want that fairing in front of me. I put my time in on bikes that don't have fairings, don't have cruise, don't have radio, don't have crap. I put my time in on those. I probably have 100,000, miles or more on those. And, I'm at the point where I want to cruise. I want to cruise comfortably. I want some space to put my junk. And, that touring bike fits the bill.
And that's what I was getting ready to say, which at the end is that as you age, you become more interested in comfort and technology and convenience versus just being on a bike. Because like I said, my first bikes, they were all Suzuki's, and it was Suzuki's answer to a chopper or a bobber. And yeah, I could get going on that thing and it looked okay, but no windshield, no radio, and that kind of thing. Man, as soon as I got on that Nomad, I'm going, oh my God, this will have a fairing in front of me and I don't get beat up by the wind. I'm here forever.
Yeah.
And as you get older, that's what you find to you tend to move up, just like they say, into bigger bikes, more convenience, more comfort, more amenities. But the main thing is comfort and amenities. Yeah, guys want tech, but they want that comfort and they want those amenities.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I asked the great Chat GPT. So what does motorcycle companies have to do to make it more popular or get the interest? What do you think the number one thing came up?
Tech?
No.
Cheap bikes, entry bikes.
Cheap bikes, yes. Lower bike costs. Entry level motorcycles, $4,000 to $6,000. Now Vulcan S, which is an ugly bike, but here's what my issue with the Vulcan S is. Okay, I have one. Okay.
So
yes, we know.
Yeah, and
we know, and we've heard often about it.
The technology sucks. It literally does. I mean, it's I mean, you're buying $6,000, and that's one of the things that would interest me more if it had some kind of navigation system on, because what you want, and they have to have a 100% default navigation system on the bike. Either you plug your phone on in or anything like that. It's got to have a screen because people want to know where to go. And if you have a navigation or GPS on a motorcycle, then you're going to go a lot farther than you probably normally would, because unless you got a quad lock and your phone on your handlebars, you're just going to ride to one place to another inside of a town. But if you had like, hey, I'm going to ride to Madison, Indiana, like we did over the weekend, you put it on the GPS and you say, give me the Kirby roads, and it takes you off, and you're flying, and it's interesting. It's freaking, you've never been there. You thought you never would, and you forget. You got the wind blowing in through your hair, that kind of stuff. It's freedom. But I think that's what it's lost. I think it's lost. I think that's the number one thing is get these bikes. unless you're Max, you don't have any hair.
Yeah, wind blowing through your hair. My ass.
Max rode too long without a helmet. Blew all his hair.
Yeah. Yeah. When I had a fro this big.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what I'm telling you is, then that defeats the purpose. Yeah, you can stick some tech on a bike like that, but that's a mid-level entry bike. If you stick tech on that, you're adding $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 to it. Then what? It's not a mid-level entry bike anymore.
Well, but the problem is this technology has been around forever. It literally has. I mean, I know that there's a.
You know what the answer is? Get your quad lock and stick it on your handlebars. Yeah. That's your answer.
But that's more money. That's increasing the bike. I think like Royal Enfield, it literally has turn by turn on their cheap bikes, and they're like $4,000. They have a little screen on the side, just some kind of thing that hooks up Bluetooth. It doesn't have to be freaking crazy, where your phone hooks up, GPS, tells you turn per turn, keeps you interactive so you're not distracted. Because that's what happens is people get distracted because they're looking at their phone. And that's what I found, because I'm using Riser, which if Cardo is actually listening, get Riser on freaking CarPlay or whatever it's called, because I couldn't have it on my screen on the Indian, so I had to actually have it on my handlebars, and I kept on going to my phone and not paying attention to the road sometimes, because I wanted to make sure I got the right turn, left or right. So I can see where a rider has that problem. But it's in front of you. It's easier to see, and that's the reason why, because you're naturally looking at that center console on the motorcycle. They just need to figure out how to get it there.
You see where behind the bars just commented, got to have a buddy with you with GPS. That's true. If your buddy's got GPS, you don't need it. You're just following him.
Yeah. By the way, behind the bars actually has a. We got some comments here. Let's see here. Much hasn't changed. Younger guys want faster sports bike. You're right. Yep. Let me put this on here. Thanks for commenting, Tony. You're exactly right. Then they go Harley and Indian, the middle age up. And then behind the bars, you're exactly right. You got to have a buddy with GPS. And that's one thing I found out riding sometimes with some groups, is that preparation, because I was actually with Les, and we'll talk about this ride here in a second. So we were going to do the Serpent of Indiana, and we were going to ride it. And something happened. There was a road closed, and my GPS didn't say it was closed. You know? That's the reason why they called me the closer. So here I am. I'm going. I'm going to go 62. Go to Friendship from Madison, and halfway there, the road's closed, and I had to go to Brussels. That just kind of ruined the whole entire trip because I was wanting to ride that road because and then go down to 262 to Rising Sun and ride the whole thing. But because we couldn't get there. I mean, I could have a couple back roads, but some of them back roads in Indiana, they ain't worth riding. Sometimes they turn into gravel. Sometimes they're, they got more potholes than they do blacktop. But
chip and seal, baby. Chip and seal.
It's a bad deal. But yeah, exactly right. I think that is the deal. So let me pull this back up. Did I share that one? Yeah, let me share. Okay, so I got some comments. I got to keep an eye on that. So that one was, make cheaper bikes. Insurance education. Younger riders often fear high insurance costs. Many don't realize small bikes can be very affordable and insured. The other thing that hurts us is winter. We have winter season here in the north, and you can't ride that bike. So you're investing $6,000, $9,000 on a bike, and you can't ride it. Only 5 months of the year. So financial options.
That's the way to keep your insurance costs down is only insurance during rideable months. Of course, then you get that 60, 70 degree day in January with no salt on the road where everybody's going, come on, let's go out and ride. And you can't ride because you ain't got no insurance. And if you do go out and ride, you are taking a big chance.
Yeah.
Big chance.
Mm-hmm. And, another thing is that this is a good idea. If Balance Dynamics could figure this out, like Indian, if Indian, you buy a motorcycle, you get you get a class for free. It's only $300, $400. That would be a great incentive. It's like, hey, listen, you're interested in this bike? Yeah. So you ever rode a motorcycle? No. Hey, I tell you what, we'll pay for your first class. If you buy a motorcycle, we will send you there and you will learn how to ride this motorcycle. I think that'd be a good incentive.
But a beginner's class, you don't ride that bike anyway. You ride the bikes they provide.
Well, yeah, but at least they have some experience then,
Sure.
I mean, and then they feel more comfortable on that bike. I mean, I was at a dealership, and there was a guy buying a motorcycle, and it was one of them off-road ones, adventure bikes, and the damn thing was as tall as him. All right, the handlebars was almost as tall. Yeah. He literally had to get on the side of the sidewalk and get on the motorcycle. And he had tippy toe to get on that. And I was thinking, that guy's going to kill himself. Why would you sell that guy that motorcycle? There's no way he's going to fit it. There's no way he's going to fit on that motorcycle. But that's, so let's go here. What's the number 2 thing you think it is? Modernizing the image. Show diversity. This is where Max fits in there, where it says women riders. He always says women riders. And that's what they needed to go out there because I watch a lot of YouTubers and they are female. And it's not because they're good looking or anything like that, okay? I ride them because it's interesting because I want to see their perspective. What do you got?
Well, you were going to get Jess of her 2 wheels up here in Ohio. So, yeah, they are good looking. Don't cut your own throat, my friend. But yes, there are a number of YouTube influencers out there. There's her 2 wheels up in Ohio. There's VP Customs up in upstate New York. That's a married couple. There are a number of female YouTubers that are out there, and they have their own unique perspectives, and they have their own followers. And I mean, hundreds and thousands of followers.
Yeah.
So
yep.
You can't discount that group.
Yeah, exactly. And then they need to go after it. And I see Indian having more female riders in their commercials. I see Harley doing the same thing. I think literally if they I know it's kind of hard, but they need to market a bike that is, and it's, it's kind of hard. Say it's Harley-Davidson came out with a pink highlighted bike, or something like that. Or
I don't think it needs to be pink.
Well, I know,
really
but I'm just using it as an example.
No, don't use that example.
Would that ruin the bike image with a man? Would it now be a female bike? That's what I'm saying. So how?
Well, everybody thought the Sportster was a female bike, and it never was.
Yeah.
But everybody kept saying it was a chick bike. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, what I'm saying is they need to get serious about getting women involved, like Connie, to design these bikes because they want stuff. They don't want to ride a bike made for a man. They want something designed for them. So all these dealers, Indian, Harley, Kawasaki, Honda, all of them need to get a women's focus group together and start designing a bike that can fit women.
Yeah, Connie's on here, by the way, now, finally.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Did you hear me? I'm up here defending you.
Make sure you put the mic towards you.
I appreciate that.
Hey, Chris, ask your know-all Chat GPT.
Okay,
what do women in motorcycles today?
What do women look for?
And while you're doing that, I'll do the disclaimer.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. We here at Throttle and Iron do not endorse or condone any drinking of spirits or alcohol while you are on 2 or 4 wheels. Throttles and bottles do not mix.
Yeah.
Having said that, 4 Roses small batch is excellent. Rated a 9 on the Whiskey Wash. That's my review site. So that's great. Remember, throttles and bottles don't mix, folks. Cheers.
Yeah, so the number one thing there, in which Tony, Softails look good with a woman riding it. Yeah, exactly. And then behind the bars, Connie, did you get that Lowrider ST yet?
I said not yet, but I'm definitely leaning that way.
So the number one thing is size and weight for women.
It is, yes.
Yeah. And then comfort was be number 2, styles and personal fit. And this is where, if you want to sell accessories on a bike, women are the bike that, will accessorize a bike like crazy. I mean, yeah.
Well, heck yeah. I want a cup holder. I want a phone holder.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you. And it's, it's got flowers on
Barely
it.
have room for her hands on the handlebars.
It's got sparkles on it.
Yeah, she wants bling. She wants bling. Ain't no lie about that. Got to have some bling.
That's right.
So yeah, and another thing is they want a personal fit. So if we talked about this earlier before, it's like if they had a motorcycle, I know Vulcan S, you can go there and you can get they have a thing on the wall. It says this is the handlebar, for mid, this is full, this is that kind of stuff. They have different handlebars. They also have different seats. They also have different things that you can actually choose from. And then they put that on your bike with no cost.
They did try. They did try because they have, what is it? Reduced reach.
Yeah.
Then the mid and extended reach.
Yep.
But that consists of the controls, the seat, and the handlebars only.
Yeah.
And I've got a mid seat on it, and reduced reach handlebars and reduced reach controls. Yeah. And I'm still not comfortable on that bike.
Yeah. It's not comfortable on it.
No.
So it's trying to be a sport or a sports kind of cruiser kind of bike, and she's not happy with it. She's not happy with it. I
think she should get the BMW.
The BMW?
That cruiser bike they made. What is it, the R18 or something like that?
R18?
Yeah, I think it is the R18.
I'm going to write
that. The thing is, though, that's not an entry-level bike. Yeah, that thing's expensive as shit.
No, it's not. It's not that much. Compared to Harley, it's not bad.
Let's just spend all of Chris's money.
Yeah. And then power, but not entertaining. I mean, I'm saying power.
Infotainment.
Yeah. And then community and spirits. So, is there, I know the Litas out there. They got the groups, for women and motorcycles. And are they advertising? And should the IMRG have a branch just for women? So they can advertise.
You need to get Julie on here.
Yeah, we can get her on here. Yeah,
and see why she has 3 different bikes.
Yeah, we can interview her. I need to get some interviews set up.
Go ahead. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Training and confidence support. So that would be number 6, which I kind of 100% agree. And this is what most women actually buy. Cruisers, it'd be Indian Scout, Harley, Softail, Harley Rebel. Harley.
Harley Rebel. Oh my gosh.
This print is so small. I just seen the H, so I just said Harley.
Now, which bike did I have on order?
Yeah, it's easy to customize, lower seat heights, and stylish. Okay, and then adventure bikes would be the next one. So they got a BMW G310 GS, Kawasaki Versa X300, a Triumph Tiger 660, and then naked bikes, the Yamaha MT-07, Royal Enfield Meteor 650, lighter weight, stylish, and very comfortable. And then touring bikes, women go for the Indian Chieftain Limited and Harley Road Glides, and then that's for experienced women riders who want to travel far. So, yeah.
I'd be interested. Connie, have you ever tried a Triumph? The Triumph America, the Triumph Bonneville?
Yeah.
No, are they the more, what is it?
They're the more American style cruiser 2 bikes that Triumph has.
They sit kind of high, don't they?
Not really. Because I know our dealership had a Triumph Bobber in there that was awesome. Granted, didn't have a whole lot. It was no windshield, very little tech, but man, was this thing good looking. Mm-hmm. And it's a twin. So, you might want to go to a Triumph dealer and try a Triumph America or a Bonneville. One of those 2.
I'm making my list.
Making a list, and my checkbook is getting smaller.
I've seen that list. The list keeps getting bigger. But
I know it does, doesn't it?
You never select one. That's the problem.
I think we'll be talking to the end of time about a bike for her. I don't think she's.
I'm too picky. I want pieces off this one, pieces off that one.
And that's the problem. I want the perfect bike all the time. I want the perfect technology. The new bike that comes out with the new paint. I want that. It's want. But reality is what you can get at this time and right now. You can't have a perfect bike unless you make it a perfect bike. And then you got to just find the platform and build on it.
I'm still trying to make you the perfect husband. That's not working either.
That has never going to happen.
Hey, Chris, put that in Chat GPT.
Buddy. Plug that in and see what comes up. Jeez.
You'll blow that thing up.
All right. So
cannot compute.
So let's talk about because we're going to talk about rides, and if you guys did any riding, put it in there, put it in the thing this weekend. What did you guys do this weekend so we can talk about it? Crystal from Rolling Throttle has a road glide with mids, pullback bars, and lowers. She's 5'2". Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, my bike is just not comfortable either.
Yeah, and I've been trying to tell you to buy a Chieftain so I can actually ride it.
That's on my list. I got a big list.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about this weekend. So I went on 2 rides. They both were about the kind of similar. Other than I rode with Les yesterday because I wanted to get him some fresh air, and I think it was he wasn't coughing at all yesterday until I took him for a ride. So that kind of set this thing on fire.
That's true.
But he was doing fine. And then we went to IMRG on Saturday. We went to what is it called? The Serpent Mound.
Great Serpent Mound.
Yeah, and we ended up going to a restaurant called the Porch, which was excellent. Okay, that ride was about 4.5, 5 hours. What do you think a ride? How long is a Saturday ride? What would you guys think? 4 hours, 5 hours? How long would you want to ride? And what kind of destination would you want to go to? Is it like a destination like that, like going to the Serpent Mountains to go check it out, and then maybe go take some lunch and then ride our way back? What do you guys think about things like that?
So a Saturday ride for me is get up at 5,
Mm-hmm.
ride to the Tail of the Dragon, riding around down there all day, and then ride home that evening. So anywhere from 15 to 20 hours on the bike. If I'm not doing anything, if you're going to get out and ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not quite as ambitious as that.
Yeah.
But if you're going to a destination ride, you want to leave a time to at least see some of the destination.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't do any good to be so rushed or so consumed by time that you're going to get to the place and go, oh, like you did on this weekend, there it is on the right, and ride right past it. What's the point?
Well, it was cold. I mean, I'm not dogging the ride. The ride was good, but weather kind of dictates sometimes. If it's pouring down rain, you're not gonna. I mean, a lot of people are gonna turn out. If it's very cold, a lot of people ain't gonna turn out. It's uncomfortable. So we're going to and that's what I can see. This was a little bit uncomfortable ride. Due to the temperatures, because it never got really above 55 degrees the whole entire day, even though the weatherman lied and said, oh, it's about noon, the sun was going to come out and the temperature was going to raise to 65. It never happened.
Okay. Guess what?
What?
That's what I'm going to tell all you guys about. Heated grips, heated seats, all that's good. Lowers are great, all this and other. Back in the old days, guess what? You got a leather jacket, you got chaps. There you go, and that's what you rode. We've killed. I've got at least 5 cows in my motorcycle closet between me and Lisa. Seriously, fringe chap, fashion chaps, jackets with bling, everything.
You got assless
got
chaps.
At least. Yeah, assless chaps. Guess what? Your ass should be on your seat. It shouldn't get cold. So, all this stuff about, I mean, it's great having those conveniences. God knows I love my heated grips. Got arthritis in the hands. So, it helps. But back in the day, very few of the bikes except for CVOs had that kind of stuff. So you just got on and rode.
Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for people that can't. 55 is great riding weather. Bikes run better in cold air.
Yes,
Les will back me up on that.
Absolutely.
So you make. So
guys, don't be attacking me like this. I'm just
55 to 60 is the best. You wimp.
but there was no sun.
You had a leather jacket on. You had a full face helmet on. What are you crying about?
Hey, I had the most comfortable. I mean, it was a comfortable ride because I had the leather jacket on. It was great. I had jeans. I had my lowers still on my motorcycle. I had some leather lowers. I don't have the real fancy ones like the Challenger. What do they call it? The
Roadmaster and the Pursuit.
Yeah, I don't have them, but maybe one of these days I'll have that bike. But hey,
I know you can get a set for $400.
Oh yeah, where at?
They're aftermarket.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
where at?
I'll turn you on after.
All right, cool.
Amazon, really?
Yeah. So, and that's one of the things that you have to look at. I mean, we can talk about that again. This is the aftermarket parts. Yeah, that's a totally different story. But anyway, so the second ride was, hey Les, are you going to be good enough to ride tomorrow? And he was like, yeah, I'm feeling better. What time you want to take off? 11 or 12 or something like that, so we can get breakfast and stuff like that. So I'll meet you. So I'll meet you at the house. Les wasn't coughing. He was doing fine. He was leading to Madison until we stopped at a gas station, and he's like, oh, okay, you take over. And then, like, some reason I kept on coming back because we're down there. We need to go to Clifty Falls because we need to go to Clifty Falls because I know there's going to be something because I'm leading this because I know I'm the closer. So I know there's going to be some opportunities that we're going to have to, or challenges. So I did a U-turn, went down a road, hit my GPS, and went to Clifty Falls. I got a pass, and he got a day pass because he's out of state. But anyway, we went to go see a couple of falls. The first one was, what was the one, Connie?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Hoffman? No, it wasn't.
It was the largest one. But anyway, so he's still not coughing. He's all good and everything else. So I take him down to this fall, and I need to go get my camera so we can get that one. So we go down to the Madison or Clifty Falls, and we go to the fall, and we're going down these wooden stairs, and it's maybe a 50 to 60 foot drop, and it was easy going down, right, Les?
Yeah, that was a breeze, man.
It was a breeze. But then we go see the fall was great. It was you can see it on an angle, and it went straight down.
Tunnel falls.
Uh-huh. It was beautiful. But on the way up, it was very difficult for Les. I mean, because he's been sick and everything else, and then he started getting this cough again, and I was feeling sorry for him. But I said, "Suck it up, Les. We're gonna ride some more." So we're on our way. We leave Clifty Falls, and we're going out of Madison, and I missed one of the roads, so I had to go this way and I had to go that way, and then finally we get on 62, and you got these freaking little tire strips on this road in Indiana. They just put some tire strips.
Chip and seal, baby. Chip and seal.
Freaking every time you go on it, you couldn't enjoy it because every time you go on a corner, the belt of the motorcycle felt like it was sliding underneath from you, and it was kind of weird. And I hate Indiana to do that. It's only in Indiana for some reason. Kentucky, they can do the same thing. There's no issues with it. They must be using something different. But either way, it just feels like you're on like a little slip and slide thing when you go around a corner.
Slicker than snot.
Yeah,
they really are.
Yeah. So we had a good route there, going through there, and I'm gonna see if I got any video of that. Let's see if I can get that to play.
Twisting and turning.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, Chris, I just come up with a new video idea.
Yeah, what's that?
Max will tell you where you get the lowers. You'll get the lowers. Mm-hmm. And then we'll do a video of the behind the bars 859 guys putting them on your bike.
That's a damn good idea. Mm-hmm. But so we're on our way to Friendship, and that's when we had the road closed until we went to Brussels, and then I went through Brussels, and we went to Milan, Indiana, because US 50, there's a lot of construction at the very end by Lawrenceburg or Aurora. So I stopped at a gas station, and I said, "Hey, we're gonna go somewhere and eat, so we're gonna stop for dinner." But I'm gonna tell you, that was one of the most stressful rides I've ever had, and the reason is because I'm a new rider. So these guys have been riding for 30 years. Okay, they know what to do. They've been experienced with it and everything else. But for me, it was stressful because I've never done it before. I mean, other than that one time we went to Camac, Indiana. But it was like I'm trying to impress Les, trying to give him the best roads, and one was closed. and then it's like, oh, now we got to go out of the way, and now it's time to go home. Let's go get some dinner. And I felt like it was actually a failure for the ride. And
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you take your own advice? Ride your own ride.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. You were all wrapped up in impressing Les, and if I was along, God knows you would have been scared to death. Guess what? We're following you. Yeah. If you mess up, we're not going to know. Just keep riding. and as far as chip and seal goes, look, everybody knows those roads suck. You just take a little bit of extra caution, especially the ones in Indiana. Mm-hmm. But even behind the bar says the ones in Kentucky suck too, and they do. Chip and seal should not be allowed as a road repair on any road, anywhere, in any state, in any municipality in the U.S. of A. None. We pay taxes. Fix the goddamn... fix the roads.
Hello, Mr. Dr. Harley. Hey, we got to get him on here. He's a YouTuber.
Hey, there's Doc.
Yeah, I'll get you on here as a guest.
Yeah, I watched Doc. Yes, I have.
I watched one of his videos last week. He has a little podcast kind of thing too, a lot live he does. So yeah, cool. Welcome. He's probably I know he's with I think he hangs out with what is that, Throttle? What is that other one? Throttle something? 859 knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, cool. All right. So yeah, that was kind of the rides that I had. What was your experience, Les? Because you're on the other side of it.
Man, I don't sweat it. As long as I'm out riding, I don't care where I go. It really doesn't matter. I just want to ride and put some time in, and that's it. So I don't get worked up over a closed road or a detour or anything else. I just go out and I enjoy the ride.
Yep. And so I think you're rolling Throttle. You got it. Yeah. So I watch their videos too. I also watch. I gotta get what's his name on here too. I just haven't had. I'll be honest with you guys. I've kind of slacked off a little bit the last couple of weeks because I've been busy working on certain things.
We noticed.
Yeah.
But, did I miss the part where you were working on your truck last night till when?
Yeah, I had a problem with some brakes. We don't want to go there. My washing machine started leaking today, so my wife.
Oh Lord!
Hey, I'm gonna explain something to you guys. This is what really makes me mad sometimes. So this morning, my wife goes downstairs and she noticed, the washing machine's leaking. So instead of saying anything to me or tell me, hey, listen. So I come home and there's the whole freaking laundry room is full of water. Pretty much.
It's not.
It's pretty close. So I was like, so instead of getting ready for the podcast, guess what I had to do? I literally had to go take the damn washer apart to find out what's wrong with it. So I got the part. I got to order it. It's going to be here Thursday. But
quit your bitching and get back on motorcycles.
But you see them clothes you got on right now? You're going to be wearing them for the next couple of days.
I hope not. They smell really bad. My trainer was like in a bad mood or something tonight.
But anyway, check out throttleandiron.com. I am literally working this is my project, folks. Check that out. It's like a Facebook copy. All right. So, and what the plan is you're going to be able to post rides, and I actually got AI working on it, where you post a image of a ride that you're going to. Okay. And the AI can actually see that text, put the dates, all that kind of stuff, and post it on a calendar for people to either go to, and I'll say whatever directions are and that kind of stuff. So that's one of the things I'm working on. The other thing, it has its own groups. You can have private groups and stuff like that. It has a calendar where you can put Google Maps, and you can do your own little mapping, and then you can share that ride with people. Even Max, none of these people know that I've been working on this, and it's behind the scenes. You can't really see it, but it's on its way. So, and I've been testing it out a lot the last couple of weeks, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. But so let's go through some of these comments here. So Dr. Harley, we're going to get you on the podcast. We'll be ready to go. Rolling Throttle. Let's go ahead and throw them out. Go check them out. They're pretty cool. I think they just had, if I'm not mistaken, Behind the Wheels went down to Tennessee. They just had an event down there. Hope it was great. Josh, I know a few of the members of 2044 chapter, myself included, started out in Indians and Scouts. I had mine 3 years before I jumped on a Chieftain this year. Congratulations, man. Thanks for being on the podcast. Home ownership has its privileges, so I have been told. Behind the Bars, 859, Laugh Out Loud, Doc, you're right. Awesome. Let's see what else we got here. That's it. I'm caught up with I do have Nightbot on there. It's kicked in a couple people that's been trying to spam. So just don't type in capital letters because you ain't getting no attention. Another thing is we don't ever do any giveaways or anything like that. So if anything does get through our chat and says, hey, you can win this throttle and iron, blah, blah, blah. That's all fake. We don't do none of that stuff. So just give you a heads up. All right. So get back to the ride. So, eventually we're going to have where people can actually call in and we can get you on here and you can talk about your ride. Like, hey, come on in here. And as long as we, we got to, check you out and make sure you're not some crazy guy in here starts going crazy on the phone. But people that we trust that, we'll bring them on and say, listen, tell us about your ride. So, Sick Fish, they have a ride. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, good.
Plug your Miami Town video. Not Middletown, Miami Town.
So, I don't know if you guys know, I've only been riding for like 3.5 years. So I took it upon myself to go and check out a bike night, which I'm not been to bike nights that much, and by myself. So I went to Connie. I had Connie come with me, so that's great. So
shit.
What's that? Oh, so I went to Frogtown Tavern bike night. They have a bike night on Friday nights, and I know Charlie. Well, not personally that much, but I do know him. We kind of hung out a couple times, and Donnie was there, and a bunch of people I know. So I kind of felt comfortable since I saw them guys. So I was like, cool. But Charlie's actually the owner of the place, so I wanted to support him. So I went there and I filmed it. So we do have that video up. It was about a week behind. That last Friday they didn't have one because they might have had one, but it was kind of rainy.
It was really rainy.
Yeah, rainy. So, but they have one this Friday night. I know Sick Fish is going to be having their bike night. I got to figure out when it is. But let me catch up with you guys' comments here in a second. Let me get done with this. So go check that video out. It's pretty cool. If you get a chance to go down there, they do have a food truck. They don't have a food
Restaurant
per se, but it's more of a bar. It's more of it's not a it's a community kind of motorcycle bar, so it's welcome to everybody.
Yeah, the taco truck was really good.
Yeah, the taco truck was really good. They did have barbecue planned that night, but that person had emergency. So the one guy that's I wish I knew the name of the company because they said we'll do it. They showed up.
Filled in really
they filled in really quick. So and it actually was pretty good.
It was very good.
Yeah, but but that was a pretty cool bike night. I mean, I got to see a lot of bikes. It was a lot of different bikes. And what was really amazing to me is how many brand new Harley-Davidsons there were.
I saw a couple I liked.
And I thought Harley-Davidson was in serious trouble. So I don't know if they're taking I mean, I was there and there were probably, in that parking lot, there might have been 12 to 15 brand new road glides, yeah, in that parking lot, and they're all from this area. So one of the dealerships is selling some bikes. I can tell you that. All right, so let me catch up with these things. I'm kind of taking over this freaking thing. I'm sorry, guys. I'll let you guys talk here in a second, but I gotta mute Mr. Les here.
I think Les just needs a drink.
Yeah. This is the part where I just discovered that I can read chats on here these days. So let me help you out here. Sick Fish, Behind the Bars 5859 guys are hosting a ride called the River Run. It's going to be on Saturday, May 3rd, 2025. You're invited. They're kicking things off at Sick Fish Cycles at 9:45 a.m. Then it goes down Behind the Bars 859. Are you guys going on our ride Saturday? Well, if I had a bike, I'd be there. No bike, I ain't coming. Doc Harley says bike nights in Connecticut are dying, unfortunately. Gee, Doc, according to VP Customs, well, they're in upstate New York. That's kind of close to Connecticut. They love their bike nights up there. Maybe you need to ride down there and check them out. I think that catches up.
That might be. I know Tony is with Saddleman, and I'm trying to pull his some of their rides they got coming up here. Let me see if I can get the messages here. Go ahead and talk about something while I'm looking these up. So,
well, I saw Riding Fish's video. He is organizing a ride sometime in June, I think it is, without looking. If you really want to, he's organizing a ride to Spirit Lake, which is where Indian motorcycles are assembled and produced. So if you're interested in that kind of tour, it's a whole weekend. He's got some hotels booked out. So if you do that, go on Riding Fish's website and check out his latest video where he talks about that. There you go. Hey, Doc, VP Customs is about 5 hours away. Yeah, I can dig it. That's a long ride on a work night. Believe me, been there, right? Done that.
Are they in Tennessee or they in New York?
They're in upstate New York, I think.
Gotcha.
Right. And he's in Connecticut. So, I mean, it's rideable, but not on a work night. No.
Gotcha. All right.
Thanks, Doc. Appreciate it.
I think Les planned on going to the behind the bars sick fish ride.
Oh yeah,
I think so. Didn't you, Les?
Depends. We get some cough syrup down him.
Oh my gosh, I need to put it. I have him on muted for right now. Let me put him back on here.
Oh,
there you go. Now you can talk.
All right, nice. I got to pay dues to get heard on here. I do plan to try to go on the 859 ride. So.
Okay, cool.
All right, so let me get the downloads here. I got Saddleman's rides here, and this is something I'm going to try to work on. As long as they're rides and they're benefiting the charities and stuff like that, I'm going to try to put some of these on here.
You're going to have kind of a community calendar or something?
Yeah, that's one thing I'm working on the website too. I was actually testing this one with AI to pull all the text out, which is working pretty good. But May 17th starts at Saddleman Club House on Addison, Ohio. So registration is 10 a.m. Kickstands up at noon. $25 per bike. Ride ends at Cabana in Harrison. Yeah, the BFW.
Nice.
Yeah, so if I get a job that I can work get weekends off, I'll be at these things. But I need to figure it out. I got to figure out, give me a job on Monday through Friday.
Yeah, that's at the end of Lawrenceburg Road and Jameson Creek Road, isn't it?
Yeah, 100% of the proceeds go to the family. So it's got also a 50-50. So yeah, there's one ride right there. All right, so let's see what the other one they got here. I think there's another one I got. But I want to try to do a little 10-minute thing about rides coming in this area. I don't know if this is the old one or not. This is some of their events that they're doing. You can't really see that. I wish I had a link to the website so we can actually see it.
You'll have to work on that for next week.
Yeah, we'll work on that one. Let's see what this one is here. Here we go. XX Years, Dry Riders, a Blessing of the Bikes. I don't know. Hopefully this is not over with. So let's see here. I want to make sure I got the right dates here. April 27th. That one's older. Over with. So speaking of that, Blessing of the Bikes, I think that is a event that needs to be, more advertised also. Because I think that's to get people involved. I know High Stakes did it last year. I didn't hear him do it this year, but they had that motorcycle group. I can't remember what it's called. Disciples of something. They came and blessed the bikes. I thought that was a pretty cool event. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
If you don't mind me throwing a selfish plug in there, most of the people remember me as a longtime AFR member and leading a lot of rides out of there. If you all remember, one of the first and original bike blessings around here was the AFR American Legion post in Harrison bike blessing, which takes place the first Sunday every May. I have not seen a flyer about it, but I know the Southern Ohio bikers have taken over from the AFR, and I'm sure the Harrison VFW, I'm sure they're still having it. So you might want to go online and look for that and call them to make sure. And if you call them, tell them Max sent you, and they'll give you skinny on that. But I'm almost positive that's still going on.
Yeah. Hey, Chris.
Yes.
Remember, I'm ordained, so if you want to do your own blessing of the bikes, I can do that for you.
That's and I actually gave you a script.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't want me blessing any bikes. Holy water just sizzles off me.
Yeah, that's the bigger this podcast gets, the bigger the events that we're going to do. We're going to do our own rides. We're going to do. I know I got a great road captain, so I know he can take care of that. Mr. Max. So you got to get that bike. Matter of fact, can you get it out of the garage? Don't
start no shit. There won't be no shit.
Oh yeah, I got you. Yeah. So blessings of the bikes is something that we can do. That'd be great. I can either do it at Sick Fist if they want us to, or we can do it at Frogtown. or we can do, that's a very, I think that's very interesting to me. And I think a lot of bikers like that too. And then, you have our own, like what 859 is doing, their ride, which I don't think that's too challenging to do. But you just want to make sure you have good road captains. And, I got one, I know I got one of the best, one of my friends. And Josh is really good at that too. Josh Blair is too. So, yeah, I mean, that's something that we can actually do. And I think that's one of the things we can have actually a podcast. We can talk about bag nights, because some people are saying, bag nights are, I think it's literally, it's like how people are comfortable. It's comfortable. It's people are comfortable for that, because there's a lot of people, they're switching from Harley-Davidson to different bikes. And then when it's a bike night, it's always been, the idea is it's all Harley, right? Pretty much, So I think that's
not necessarily.
Well, I mean, in people's minds is like, it's bike night. Oh, there's going to be like 10,000 Harleys there, that kind of stuff. And I think that's something that people can work on, is get more open, because when I went to that bike night, there was 2 Indians, mine and another guy's. Actually, there was 3. There was 3 Indians. Out of all, there's like 300 to 400 bikes. That's all there was at that bike night, other than 3 Indians. Or actually, there was here I think, because we had Michelle and Tom there, so that's 5 Indians that were there. Melissa and Tom. So there was 5 Indians there. So there's a lot of work to be done there, I think. And I think you're getting less and less Harley riders, that you're going to have that same result at them bike nights, due to the fact that most people who go to these bike nights are Harley-Davidson riders. So I think we got to open it up for more people.
And the thing is, though, in that particular area, northwest area of town, strong Harley presence. I used to work at the Easy Rider on Route 4, and real big Harley presence up there. But don't forget, there's a new Indian dealer in town, folks, and it's up there on Route 4, right down the street from Jungle Gyms, and they are having a grand opening on May 10th or 11th. I forget which one. It's the Friday. Which one is the Saturday?
I think it's the 10th, Max.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, it's the 10th. The more people get up there, the more people that test ride these bikes, the more people that make decisions. It's a slow process, but I think you're going to see that changed up in that northwest side of town. That's always been a Harley stronghold. I think you're going to see more Indians up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that was weird. So the other day, because I'm helping another store on the other side of Cincinnati, so I had to go by Sin City Harley-Davidson every day the last week. And when I went by there last week, 10 minutes later, I don't know how this works. 10 minutes later, I get a text message from Sin City. Well, I just drove by it.
It's the algorithm.
I know.
It's that like, evil algorithm.
Yeah, so how's this stuff work? But anyway, Best in the Bike is May 4th. SOB's bike, Blessing of the Bike, is May 4th. I'll have to get that up on our Facebook and check it out there. Max can drive up in his car. Exactly right. So I don't want to skip this one. ALS downtown. I know I have some friends that are doing the walk for that event, but there's a car show and motorcycle show, and Sick Fish Cycles is going to be down there. They're going to be a booth. I know he invited us out there. I got to figure out how to get off. I am not off yet. I am possibly off on Saturday, but I haven't been able to decide if I want Saturday or Sunday off. I might be able to work a deal, but we'll see how that works out. But I might be able to get one of the days off, because right now they're wanting me to work on Saturday. So we'll see how it works out. Yeah, they're like, we don't got enough people. We need you to come work. I was like, come on, man. But anyway.
Did you give the other
Life and Read
for May 17th?
May 17th, what is that?
Tony.
Yeah, I put the brochure on the thing.
Okay.
So that was Tony. He actually talked about that one. I'll go ahead and put that chat message back on there. Thank you, Tony, for sharing all that kind of stuff.
Hey, that's life in retail, brother.
I know.
What can I tell you?
That sucks, but that's the way life is.
Well, it's about that time, don't you think?
Oh yeah, it is. I appreciate everybody being on here. I know this is kind of a different. We're gonna get some guests on here. I just haven't been able to work on it. And Les has been coughing up a storm, so I need to get him to bed.
Sorry,
my little child there. I'm just kidding.
I've been trying to not. Hey, seriously, hey guy behind the bars 859. Think about that making a video, putting lowers on Chris's bike. He gets off Amazon.
Yeah.
You get all kinds of views off of that. I'm telling you, man.
Exactly. Calling sick, but now it's on YouTube. So all right. But I appreciate everybody being on. Next week we'll try to have a guest on here. I'll be talking to Dr. Harley and see if I can get him on here and see how that works. I think we can make that happen. I'm gonna actually promote it a little bit earlier too. So we'll have it on Sunday at 8:00 normal. So we can keep jumping back and forth this Monday or Sunday night thing. Or unless you guys want to just move it on a Monday night. You guys want to move it on Monday night?
You can talk about that after.
What's that?
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. But this is Les's favorite music. I really appreciate it. Hey, before you guys go, like this podcast, share it. All right. I know it wasn't our greatest one.
And please subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe.
But you can tell everybody loved it.
But it was still fun.
It was still fun. We talked about a bunch of topics.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and how do you feel when you're kind of leading a bunch of guys around or women around on motorcycles? Do you feel uncomfortable like I did? Do you feel uncomfortable when you go to a bike night? I mean, that was a big leap.
I love Friday night bike night.
Yeah, put that in the comments, folks. Yeah, what's that, Les?
You still have Chat GPT open?
Yes, I do. Let me turn
Put
this
in there.
off.
How do I make my spouse happy?
Oh, okay. What'd you say?
Put in Chat GPT. How do I make my spouse happy?
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, that's a different time.
And I'm out.
Yeah, everybody have a good night.
All right.
Good night, everybody.